After Evo, I'm probably done with MK11, at least competitively. You might see me play it every once in a while, but I want to go on and play other games. And this video is going to perfectly explain why I think that it is important to branch off and play other fighting games. So there are 3 games that I have based my fundamentals around, well, technically 4, but let's just go with 3 other games that I have based my fundamentals around. One is Street Fighter V, because Street Fighter is the kind of neutral and footsies basics of fighting games. Street Fighter has always been that way. It's been the grounded version of footsies and neutral and fighting games. The other one, quite recently, has been DNF, and I did play a little bit of KOF 15. I've been told that KOF 15 is another way to... It's a very good way to understand neutral and footsies, just strictly because there's a trinity of RPS when it comes to KOF. Usually you're going to have to deal with that trinity, whether it be short hops, the low kicks, and then I think the standing jabs or something like that. So one thing that I find very interesting about these 3 games when compared to MK11 is these 3 games share a very similar movement mechanic when it comes to backdashes. This is the #1 reason why Mortal Kombat 11 has a lot of characters you pretty much cannot play footsies with. So I'm going to explain this, and you just take a journey with me really quick. So let's start with Mileena. In most fighting games, backdashing requires you to finish the backdash before you can do anything else. So for example, if I was playing Sakura in Street Fighter V, or I was playing Shermie in King of Fighters 15, or if I was playing Striker in DNF Duel, I'd have to backdash, and then once the backdash is complete, I can press a button, or I can do whatever else I want to do, like I can jump, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Well, in Mortal Kombat, you don't have that. So, for example, if I'm Cabal here, so let me just use Cabal first, actually. If I'm Cabal here, I can actually backdash and cancel my backdash with a jab, right? See how I'm trying to dash back and I'm canceling it with a jab? I can also do, if I'm standing here, instead of doing the complete backdash, I can move back slightly and then do a back 1, right? See? I'm moving back slightly, doing the back 1. It's like, see? Now, what makes this unique is not only can you cancel, not only can you backdash cancel like this, and do like an OS or something, but you can also cancel your backdash with the block button. Because remember, this isn't a traditional back to block game like the other 3 games I mentioned. Now, DNF Duel does have a block button, so I will keep that in mind. I will mention that here. That actually does affect its forward movement. So you can cancel in DNF Duel because the block button allows you to cancel movement going forward. But I guess ArcSys knows what they're doing, and they kind of figured backdashing and canceling a backdash with a block button is not a good option when it comes to movement. Therefore, they did not allow you to do that. So they actually made the backdashes make sense, and I'll explain that in a minute. So Cabal, he can cancel his backdash with a block, right? Now, the thing about Cabal is that Cabal is actually dashes done right, in a sense. So, because Cabal has bad movement, this doesn't really affect his whiff punishing or his footsies as much, right? Because, if I'm here and I try to backdash into a button, I can't really move far before Mileena hits me, right? So, if I set Cabal, let's say I'm, standing here, right next to Mileena, and I try to backdash into back 1. You see here, Mileena can still clearly down 1 me here, right? But here's where it gets interesting, because a character like Mileena, this is not the case. See? See how I'm trying to down one Melina here? And I can't hit her. I have to do it like almost instantly. But with Cabal, it was the other way around, right? You know, he doesn't go anywhere. Actually, let's use down 4 here, because it's a better example. No, that's not a good example. Hold on. Man, it's even bad with Cabal, actually, but down 4 is probably a better example here, just because the down ones don't reach very far. Honestly, like, when it comes down to it, this is something also you need to keep in mind. My original point was that you can cancel your backdashes into buttons. In any other fighting game, you wouldn't be able to do this. The 3 fighting games I mentioned, you legit cannot do this because you can't cancel the backdashes. You can't cancel them into a button. So, why is this important? Well, I'm not going to mention any players in the MK11 community or MK community, but what I will say is that players have mentioned before how in Mortal Kombat 11, you do not have to be precise with your movement because you can cancel backdashes, or you can cancel dashes in general, but let's just go with backdashes right now. You can cancel backdashes into a button. This makes perfect sense because when you think about it, Melina here does not have to be precise with her movement. She doesn't, because if she dashes too far forward, all she has to do is use her abusable backdash that has really good backdashing speed to punish whatever Cabal's going to do, right? So let's say I'm Cabal here and I'm waiting for Melina. Let's say Melina is full screen. Let's say Melina's full screen. She dashes up. She dashes a little bit too far, right? So I try to check the movement. She dashes a little bit too far and then she dashes back, right? Well, the problem with this is normally in other fighting games, if you were to dash like this, the advantage would be that even if she backdashed, you wouldn't get full combo punished because your move would recover by the time she backdashes and tries to press a button because she has to finish the backdash animation. But in Mortal Kombat 11, she doesn't have to do this. All she has to do is dash forward and do and then cancel into a button, right? So Melina's a little bit harder to deal with here because the only thing she can really do here is go into forward 4. So like, let's say she does that. Like, you can get hit. Hold on. And then you get hit. I'm not doing a good... Hello Larry can do this a little bit better than me. But, because he's done this to me before. But, like, this is an example of something that actually, like, it actually would not exist in any other fighting game because you can't cancel backdashes. Oh, man, I'm not explaining this very well. Sorry. I'm not doing a very good example of explaining this. And down ones will come into play in a minute. So, this is one of the reasons that Sub-Zero is so powerful, right? Because when you look at a character like Sub-Zero, his back 1 is, or his not his back 1, sorry, his back 3 is a low. So if Sub-Zero does anything and then backdashes into back 3, the back 3 is considered a low. So it'll actually eat up your poke because it's a low. Mids will eat up your poke and overheads will eat up your poke, but it's a little bit harder to time, as you can see here, because even with Melina's, she's in the air, so you can kind of like hit her out of her mid. But if she was using like a back 1 or something, so like back 1's not gonna work here very well. Like something like that, right? She would be able to blow up Cabal. And this is another reason why Kodo is so strong. It's not because his forward 2 goes so far. It's because he can forward dash and then back dash into forward 2, eating whatever button you're trying to mash on, right? Whatever button you mash on, he can just back dash and forward to you, thus forcing you to flawless block the forward 2 because you actually cannot get out of the way. Like, you don't know when the forward 2 is coming out. You just know that it's going to come out sometime, somewhere. So you're able to flawless block it because he's going to try to hit you from wherever you are, and then when you poke, you'll get hit. Because the backdashes can be canceled into buttons. So characters like Melina, Fujin, Kodokan, Sub-Zero really abuse this mechanic. Characters like Cabal, Katana, no, not Scarlet. I'm trying to think of another one. Cetrion also abuses this. Cabal, Katana, probably Kano. They don't have as good movement, so they actually have to pay attention to where they are on screen. This is good design in my opinion. If you're gonna allow people to cancel backdashes, the backdashes shouldn't go, like, they shouldn't have the range Melina has. Like, we hear this all the time. Melina has good movement. That feels good, right? But the thing is, like I hate to kind of blow up MK players here. I'm trying not to blow them up as much as I can because I know people like this design a little bit. But this is definitely postmodern footsies. You can't really tell where Melina's going to be on screen. Like, the only thing you can do is check where you think she's going to be, right? This is one of the reasons why most pokes in this game have, really fast recovery. I'm pretty sure it's because NRS knew this. Like, they knew that since you can cancel backdashes into block, you can cancel them into buttons. They needed something to kind of balance that out. And what they decided on was to make the pokes kind of recover quickly. So then that way, like, it's hard to kind of punish in the neutral. But the problem is that makes the game even more scrubbier because not only do you have to pay attention to, or not only can you not pay attention to when you get a whiff punish, or when, you know, spacing or anything like that, but now you can just mash pokes and people can't do anything about it because they don't know, they have to get the exact timing on when you're going to do the poke and read you're going to do the poke there and then whiff punish it in the process. So that's the problem. There's two problems with this design. The first problem with this design is I don't know where you're going to be. Unless you're Cabal or Katana and your backdash speed is bad, I don't know where you're going to be on the screen. I actually, like, when Melina is right here, I have no idea where she's going to be. Is she going to, you know, well, sorry, right here is probably a better example. Is she going to dash up all the way, or is she going to dash up and then backdash and then try to whiff punish what I'm going to do? And if I walk back and she dashes all the way up, I won't be able to deal with that. Like, let's say I walk back, right? And then Melina dashes up. Well, I'm still in the same situation I was in before. She can dash up right outside this range, or right inside this range. Probably right outside this range is a better example. And then backdash and cancel until button, or backdash, get me to whiff, and then try to whiff punish. But the problem with Cabal is he has to guess what she's going to do. Like I actually can't play a spacing game here because I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do. And then on top of that, there's jumping in this game, but we'll talk about that some other day. But like, it's just hard to tell because she can cancel her moves into a button. You don't have to be as precise with your spacing with Melina. Cabal, though, you do, because with Cabal, you know, once I dash forward, I don't have enough time to backdash and whiff punish whatever Melina's going to do. I have to check her here, or I have to go into a long range button, or I have to walk back. But if I walk back, like I said, if I walk back, I can't walk back and go do a string because I'm actually spaced out here. Like, I actually have to pay attention to spacing as Cabal because I can't just backdash and whiff punish with a button because of the speed of his movement, right? The speed of his movement, in a kind of weird way, acts like a pseudo backdash that you can't cancel, if that makes any sense, because his movement is so bad. This is the reason why you see noob players, even though like slide is really powerful, new players actually have to pay attention to spacing also for the same reasons. Characters that have fast backdash speeds, they don't have to pay attention to spacing because they can just move in and out of the spacing and actually go into a button and whiff punish you in the process. That's why. Sorry, I didn't really explain this very well in this video, but I figured I would try to kind of explain why I don't think that, like, don't get me wrong, like, I love MK11. MK11 brought me into the competitive fold, but the more and more I find in all these other games, the more and more I kind of get disappointed at this game. And it's not because of the game itself. I just think some of the designs were kind of questionable. Like, it makes sense now why Fujin is so good, because you literally cannot check where Fujin is going to be. You don't know where he's going to be on the screen. You don't know. If Fujin gets right here, you don't know if he's going to backdash and whiff punish you instantly. You don't know if he's going to dash up and grab you. You don't know. You don't know if he's going to jump because the jump-ins are hard to trip guard. There's a lot of stuff like you can't space him out right here. You can't space him out right here because let's say he goes up here and you try to whiff punish, or you try to hit him like right here. You try to hit him right where Cabal is right now. Well, all he has to do is backdash and punish you. But in any other game, he'd backdash and he wouldn't get anything. He would just end his he would just end his turn, or it would reset neutral. And that's the problem. That's the problem with this game. I think the best fix is to either go the MKX route. This has been mentioned several times in my Discord. The MKX route where your backdashes have invincibility, but they have recovery to where you can't cancel them, right? And I think that's a good fix. I think another good fix would just simply be to, like, if you want to be able to cancel backdashes, which I'm kind of against at this point, but let's say worst comes to worst, people want their backdashes to stay where you can cancel them. I would say make it to where you have a backdash speed kind of like Frost or, Katana or something like that, like, or even Liu Kang. Like those backdash speeds aren't nearly as fast, therefore you can kind of play footsies. Characters like not Frost, like Sub-Zero, Melina, Fujin, they're just Kotal, like it's hard to tell where they're going to be. Like the only real way you can check them is with a projectile, and like I said, like a poke just doesn't do anything. Like they could try to, whiff punish it, or your poke will just whiff because like they could just space it out, with their movement. But yeah, I would say like those would be good fixes. I don't mind, a DNF duel or a KOF way of approaching spacing too with the backdashes. And, originally I thought when I was playing this game, like I thought the problem with the game was the movement, the fact that all the characters didn't run like Fujin. But then it wasn't until I played all the other fighting games that I realized that forward movement is always the better movement, like generally. And this is kind of where I'll end the video. Like, I've noticed that, like, in most other games, forward movement is, like, running forward is easier than moving backward. Which is why, like, you would think that makes running forward really strong. But it actually doesn't. That's the misconception. It actually does not. Because when you run forward, you're actually giving up space, in a sense. And let me explain why. When you're at point blank range, the problem is running towards someone gives the person all the advantage, right? Because you're running towards them. So it's easier for them to hit you because you're running in their direction. When you're walking back, it's actually harder to hit someone, right? This is why spacing is important. So let's say I'm Melina here and I can't backdash, like I can't cancel my dashes. Well, if I run forward, Cabal can punish me. But if I backdash, I don't get anything because my backdash doesn't have, like I can't cancel into anything. So I can't backdash and whiff punish him. I can only backdash and prevent myself from getting hit. So in a weird way, I'm giving myself to him by running towards him like this. Now, I think the reason why this didn't work in MKX is because MKX had hyper offense and most of the combos put you in the corner. So running towards you was actually really beneficial in that game. But I think in other games, the reason why it works is because when you run towards someone, you're actually giving up a lot. Running towards them is basically giving yourself to them in a sense and making yourself an easier target for them to space you out, right? So if I'm like Melina here, I run in this direction right here and Cabal's sitting right there, I'm much closer to Cabal, and if Cabal is walking back, he has all day to figure out what he wants to do in this space, right? Especially if I'm Melina and, because this happens a lot in this game. This is why you get jumped on, by the way. Especially because if I'm Melina and I dash right here, and then I dash back and jump, right? That's much harder to tell, like, what's going to happen if I'm in this space, right? If I dash right here, and then jump, dash right here, dash, and, oh my gosh. Dash right here, dash, and then jump, like something like that. Like, it's hard to tell, like, what Melina's going to do. But if this had recovery, Cabal would have all day to figure out what he needs to do. He'd be able to walk back. He'd be able to anticipate a trip guard. He'd have a bunch more options than what he has now with being able to cancel dashes. So all in all, my argument for this is that I think that these games going forward, if we want like solid footsies, we need to stop reinventing the wheel when it comes to games. If our backdashes have recovery, they need to have recovery. That's the only way people are going to get better at fighting games. Adding postmodern footsies and putting more RPS in the neutral, I do not think makes fighting games better. Now, I don't know if MK has always been designed that way. You can argue all 3 games of MK have played completely different. But what I would say is that I do think that the MKX route, where backdashes have recovery, I think is a good direction, just because of the 3 games that I have played that have like legitimate footsies where you can actually space people out. As someone who plays striker and spaces people out a lot with dive kick and 2B, I can say, or her slide, I can 100% say that it's because I can actually play footsies in a sense that I know exactly where my opponent's going to be and the spacing that I need to play. It's much harder in this game. It's not impossible, but there's more RPS, or rock, paper, scissors, in the neutral. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I figured I would share that. Have fun playing MK11 and fighting games. Have really good time at Evo. I'm definitely going to. Please watch the streams and watch my live streams, because I'll probably be doing a lot of them too. But anyway, that's everything I have to say today. Have fun playing fighting games and have a good fight.